This is my MC. This is my isekai, man. Whenever I say like my favorite of the season or my favorite type of anime of the season, I don't include sequels or carryovers because then you just get into the territory of saying your same anime every time, because it's like, oh, there's always a Mushoku Tensei or there's always an Attack on Titan, right? Like, I just don't think it's fair. For me, best isekai of this season. No competition. From the beginning, I don't want to hear no one say, oh, Brandon, you're just saying that because he beat that bitch senseless. That was incredible. You're just saying that because of this big marriage moment. That was incredible. But let's go back to basics. Let's go back to the first episode. I've been praising this shit since minute one. And it's never felt generic. It's never felt basic. It's like, damn, you don't think it's going to be that good. But then it turns out good. And it's only gotten better. This doesn't get a season 2. I'ma fly to Japan and I'm gonna talk to these studios, man, because there's no way. This was 10 out of 10. My favorite episode I watched today, and honestly, that beatdown is the most savage thing I've seen so far this season. Full live reactions over on Patreon if you want to see my full uncut thoughts to any of these episodes. It's going to be over there exclusively. Now, the beatdown. We all knew it was coming. Even if you didn't watch the PV, you knew it was coming. We knew Fenris was going to be okay. I thought she wasn't dead. I thought he was just going to heal her with some goddess level magic. Turns out, no, she died. Like, she was dead. But as soon as, because he has infinite skills, so we get actually more confirmation. It's not just about infinite stats, it's infinite skills. So as soon as he comes into contact with any form of magic, he seemingly can use it. So Jin's power, you know, he was not supposed, like, only they should be able to use it. He then had it. So he reversed time and she was fine. I've seen many shows where your MC loses it because of a death or you hurt someone close to them and they just pop off. And that's fun, that's exciting, it makes sense. This is actually one of the best uses of it I've seen. So, the first, like, minute and a half, 2 minutes-ish of this episode, it's not a recap, but we get internal monologue prior to him speaking out loud saying, "I'ma beat your ass," more or less. And having him reflect on everything that's went through him and Fenris's life. Because what started off as a fake marriage, and as he says, a marriage would look better in his eyes than a master-servant-slave contract. Like, it just would make him feel better. So it was a fake marriage, but as he's grown to, you know, appreciate her, seeing her dead and die, and even if he saved her, just to see what that did to him, he recognized that he can't live in a world without her. Put your hands on her, put her in harm's way. We see what he will do. And the idea that it's not this like JoJo level rapid fist like pummeling into the ground or anything. No, it's calculated. It's slow, calculated, brutal punches thrown against a wall, it's kicks. It's like the fact that when they confirm physical attacks should do no damage to her and she's coughing up blood and probably has ribs broken, I'm like, savage as fuck. Holy shit. And what's brilliant is what usually happens as well. So we start this episode off with an internal monologue that deepens his reasoning for rage, which you rarely see. Usually the character in question that suffered something would then pull the character away. She does do that, but not initially. She's a beast, man. She's like, yeah, my hubby's kicking her ass. That's really hot. But then she thinks, and she remembers from like episode 1 or 2, I think it was episode 2 actually, when he's talking about how like, when someone's already down for the count, like, he doesn't want to kill them. That's not who he is. So the fact that she reflects on that and then pulls them away because she knows deep down that's not the type of person he is, and she's clearly defeated. They avoid the cliches, they avoid the tropes, and they just beat this girl senseless. The douchebag who made the wish because he was too stupid to realize that he could have just wished for power and would have been able to kill our boy himself. Now, not guaranteed, but he would have had a fighting chance, and instead said go kill him. It turned into the Steed, which is butt-ass ugly for this witch mommy over here, so he's not doing too hot, but I'm sure he'll die in the coming episodes. We make her into a servant. She's obviously hot and bothered by our boy a little bit, and Fenris puts a stop to it, but I like that Fenris is the reason that she's a servant, though her watching at the end was comedy gold, and we're going to touch upon that, don't worry, but that whole dynamic is so solid with the writing. It's emotional, and it's just like, we can realize how broken he is, but how much depth as a character he has. This is isekai gold. This ain't no isekai trash. This isn't like, oh, you know, if you're an isekai trash enthusiast like myself. No, this is legitimately great. They continuously avoid the cliches and tropes. And yes, when you add in that marriage scene, it's the cherry on top. It's an extra entree. To have her so emotional because she realized that he could probably go home, and him saying, I'm not going to go home because, one, if I brought you to this world with me, it would be a horrible place for you to live. Like, you'd be a slave. Like, it's not a healthy place. And this is now my home because I've clearly fallen in love with you. The embrace of I want to make it real. It's always been real to me. It's just such a powerful moment. And in very level 2 super cheap power fashion, they meme it up. Everyone listened in. They don't know that, but they do know that our new servant was, he was just like, it's mating, it's breeding, it's fine. From now on, I'll turn invisible. It's like, how they're able to manage the most savage shit I've seen so far this season, the most emotional shit I've seen this season, the most romantic shit I've seen this season, to the most hilarious things I've seen. This was the best episode. And it's not because of a singular point. The buildup of all these episodes makes it impactful, but man, this show is getting better and better, and I'm loving it. Like, this show, I understand why it works, because each episode there's so much depth, but like, if I look back to my episode 1 thoughts, I thought this would be a 7 out of 10 at best when it's all said and done. That's fine, 7 out of 10s are good. They're fun shows. They don't do anything overly wrong. They're just, they're not the greatest thing, and you're probably going to forget about it. But early on I said, there was something about Fenris and our MC that I was like, in a weird way, kind of like, it's on the same level to me as loving it as much as Lawrence and Holo from Spice and Wolf. And I expected pushback when I said that. Most people just, they didn't really mention much about it. They're like, yeah, she's really cute. But it's more than that. It's like, Fenris isn't an object. She's not just this, like, this slave that turned into a wife, or a dumb beast girl turned into a wife. Like, she's an actually really emotionally complex character. And that scene of her pulling him away is so deep. And the scene of our boy snapping, something that is completely against his normal nature. There's so much depth to these two, and they're surrounded by a beautiful supporting cast. Yeah, they have fun with sometimes the odd remark from a character, but like, at the end of the day, it refuses to be a harem, and it's a one-on-one romance. And it's beautiful because of that. Let me know what you thought of this amazing episode. I'm gonna be rewatching it later, that's all I'm saying. But let me know your feelings down below. Leave a like if you enjoyed, subscribe if you're new around here, and of course ring that bell so you can notify when I upload more. And of course, like I mentioned, we have those full live reactions over on Patreon, and hey, while you're over there, I'll also give you a video shout out. So today we have Sebastian Price, Jewel, Akado, James DeBest, Eris Katsaris, and we also have Eater Carnus. So I appreciate the support, everyone. Please take care and have a good one.